Hi boys and girls, it's Mrs. Paddock. Today for health, we're going to be talking about some tips to keep you healthy during the winter months. Now, winter is quickly approaching. It's going to arrive on December the 21st. We will have about 3 months of winter, but remember, this is Winnipeg, this is Manitoba, and our winter weather usually lasts longer than that, right? Even now, even though it's pretty nice outside and it hasn't been too cold, the cold weather is soon going to be here, and it could last even into the spring, okay? So these are just some tips on how you can stay healthy during these kind of cold months ahead, okay? So a few things. First of all, in your package of documents, you'll have a paper that looks just like this, and at the top it says, how can you stay healthy in the winter? So that's the question, and it's got 6 boxes there. First thing you're gonna, of course, do is write your name at the bottom. And then we're going to go through each one of these, and those are our healthy tips for you for the winter months or the cold weather months, right? So one of the things is, if you look at our first picture, now I drew some of the pictures in here, but I haven't colored them. But I'd love you to draw the pictures and then color them, and then ask your parents to send me a picture of it, okay? Because I would really like to see how you drew the pictures, okay? And color them too, don't forget that. I, of course, didn't, but that's why I stay in kindergarten, right? Yeah. So we look at the first tip for winter. It says here, get enough sleep. So sleep is very important, not just in the winter, but throughout like the whole year. Very important for you to get lots and lots of sleep. When we go to sleep, that's the time for our body to kind of get recharged and fix itself. So if you're not feeling very good, that's a great time for your body to kind of get healthy again. For kids like yourselves in kindergarten, you should be getting about 10 hours of sleep. Just so you know, 10 hours, that's a long time, right? But it's very important that you get lots of sleep. So I drew me in bed sleeping, and I have there's Z's there. That means I'm snoring away. Although I don't snore, but my husband does. Now, the next tip here says eat well. So yeah, very important, especially in the winter months, to eat well. Things like, and no, I didn't color them, I should have, but here's an apple. This is supposed to be a broccoli. It's not tree, but it's broccoli. There's an orange here, and there's a glass of water. It could also be milk or something like that as well. But you want to eat healthy. You want to make sure you're getting enough fruits and vegetables every day. Especially in the winter, you want to make sure you're having some citrus, which is like oranges and things like that. Those have a lot of vitamin C in them, right? Which help our bodies to be better. And that's something for you to think about. Again, throughout the whole year, but especially in the winter time, you want to make sure that you're eating well and drinking lots of fluids. A lot of us sometimes forget to drink some water, and then we get dehydrated. We don't want that. It doesn't make us feel good. Sometimes we get headaches when we're dehydrated. Our eyes feel funny. So we want to make sure that we're hydrated, and we do that by drinking lots of fluids like water. Water is probably the best thing for you, but it could be milk, sometimes juice too. But juice has a lot of sugar, so stick to water or milk, okay? Now, the next tip here says stay active. Now, what does that mean? It just basically means you guys are kids. Just run around, go crazy, right? You guys, you don't need to be like, you know, your parents where you're like, oh, I gotta go on my treadmill today and, you know, work out for half an hour or an hour, or I gotta do yoga and I gotta do this. You guys are kids. You guys know how to run around. You guys know how to play. That is staying active. So you could go into your backyard and just play, make a snowman outside. That would be great. That is staying active. If you can't go outside, you could play inside. Maybe you're going to run around your house 3 times, or you're going to do some jumping jacks and just kind of do things like that. All of that adds up to staying active. Now, we're told that you should be having at least 60 minutes of physical activity every day, but it doesn't have to be all at once. It could be maybe you're doing 10 minutes of play outside, or maybe you went for a walk for like, you know, half an hour. All of that adds up throughout the day. So you don't have to do 60 minutes all together. You could break it up, okay? But you should be aiming for 60 minutes, which means 1 hour every day. And you guys are pretty good. You guys know how to play, and that's how you stay active. Now, this is important, dress warmly. So if you're playing outside, for example, and that's great, highly recommend it, but make sure that you dress warmly. And so I've drawn some pictures of some of the things that you'll need when you go outside, especially in Manitoba, right? We need to make sure we're wearing some boots that are nice and warm for our toes. There's a ski pants here. There's a jacket here. I put a toque here, some mitts, maybe a scarf, or those little neck warmer kind of things. You could have ear muffs sometimes, right? There's different things. Sometimes you wear what are called long johns, which is kind of pants underneath your pants to keep you warm too. So you want to make sure you're dressed warmly. So let's say you get to go for a little walk outside, or you're going to go skiing or snowshoeing. You want to be dressed warmly. The best thing for you to do is actually dress in layers. That means maybe you have, like me, Mrs. Paddock always dresses in layers. I have a t-shirt underneath, I have another t-shirt, I've got this one, and then I've got this one on top, and then I would put my winter jacket on. And then I would go outside with my toque, my mitts, my boots, my ski pants, and all that. And I know that I would actually be warmer because I'm dressed in layers. Also, if it gets too hot out there, I could actually take a few layers off and still be nice and comfortable. Okay, so you want to make sure you dress warmly. Now, be careful if you are outside. You need to make sure that you're staying safe, right? Because we know if it's too cold, you know, we could freeze. We could get frostbite on our fingertips, our ears, our toes, even the tips of our nose can get frostbite. So if they're exposed and if it's too cold outside. For us, usually when it's -25, for kindergarten, it's when it's -23, we do not go outside. It's just too cold for us, okay? So make sure that it's not too cold outside so that you don't get frostbite and you don't get, you know, that's not good. That's not something that you want. You need to make sure that you're not outside for too long either, okay? So you've got to be careful. So go outside, but do come in every once in a while and warm up. There'd be a good time to have some hot chocolate, eh? Yeah, I know, lots of marshmallows. Now, the next tip is wash your hands. Absolutely. And again, is that just in the winter? No, you got to do that all year long, right? So you got to make sure that you're washing your hands really well because, of course, we're trying to keep germs away. You want to use some soap. You want to use some water. Make sure you're washing them properly. We've talked about washing our hands. So make sure that you're doing a really good job and then dry them. Sometimes we need to put lotion on our hands because our hands start to dry out. I know my kids, Frankie and Johnny, they get lots of like kind of rashes on their hands because it is so dry and they've been washing their hands and then maybe they don't dry them properly. Sometimes you have to put lotion on them just to keep them kind of dry, moist, really. Okay, so make sure you're washing your hands. And then also in this one, make sure that if you're sick, you're staying home, things like that. Use a tissue if you have to blow your nose and then throw that tissue in the garbage. Don't reuse it, just throw it in the garbage. Don't litter, don't do that. And make sure if you can't get a tissue, you're coughing or sneezing into the elbow, right? Not into your hands, okay? And then the last little tip we have for winter here is get some sun. So it's kind of like this one, especially if you get to make a snowman outside, you're gonna get some sun, right? So get outside and get a little bit of sun. It's really good for us, believe it or not. Getting a little bit of sun, even if it's just a little bit in the winter, is really good for us. Now, one thing you have to be careful about is you need to sometimes, especially if you're outside and it's a very bright day, you should actually wear sunglasses because the sun actually reflects into the snow and it kind of bounces back into our eyes, and it's not actually very good for our eyes, that reflection. So if you can, you should actually wear sunglasses outside because that reflection is sometimes not very good, especially on sunny days, okay? But any parts of you that are exposed, again, a lot of people wear sunscreen, believe it or not, because they want to protect their skin. I know a lot of people don't, but a lot of people do, okay? So remember that. So get some sun, get out there even for 5-10 minutes. That's really good. And let the sun kind of like see the sun if you can, because sometimes it's not very sunny in the winter. All right, my friends, those are a few of few healthy tips for you for the winter, for our cold months that are ahead of us. I know right now it's been nice, but you do need to make sure that you're staying safe and that you're looking after yourself, okay? So if you could draw your pictures, color them, and then send me a picture, that would be great, okay? I love you all, I miss you, and we'll talk to you soon.